CUNY TV brings you the CUNY Con Edison Game of the Week. Tonight, it's the CUNY Women's Volleyball Championship match from inside Nat Holman Gymnasium on Manhattan's Upper West Side and the beautiful CCNY campus. On a chilly evening, we take you inside this historic campus to bring you the championship match. The right to go to the NCAA tournament. One team will advance while the other will go home. Tonight we also salute Dig for a Cure, the CUNY Athletic Conference working together with the Dig for a Cure Foundation to help end breast cancer. Tonight, let's meet our two challengers. The top-seeded Baruch College Bearcats at 26-7 overall. With the top seed, will visit the host school, CCNY, the 2 seed, going 23-12 overall. Hi, everybody, and welcome inside Nat Holman Gym. Alongside Concordia Volleyball head coach Patrick Dietz, I am Ralph Bednarczyk. It's 1 versus 2. Baruch seeking a championship for the 5th time in their history, first time with their head coach Allison Stack, while CCNY has been left at the altar the last 3 years as runners-up. Pat, let's start with Baruch. 17-20 a year ago. Allison Stack, she turns around the entire roster, and she has gotten a really balanced team.
And that's happened because she's found a way to blend old and new. She's taken great play from a lot of her older seniors, older players who were role players originally, and turned them into starters, and has brought in a nice, fresh, young group of freshmen and sophomores that have designed to really take this team to the next level.
We're going to highlight a junior that she's brought in, Christina Pierre, a transfer by way of Mount St. Vincent in the Bronx. All she's done this year is be first team All-CUNY.
And Christina Pierre is one of those attacking middle blockers. Not only is she dangerous on the offensive end, she's dangerous on the defensive end. She makes her shots and then puts her hands on the other side of the net and takes away the best hitter's smart shots.
Meanwhile, for the CCNY Beavers, head coach Krishna Das has been in this situation before, losing the last 3 championships. You see Floriana Garro there. She, of course, has been their star player, but again, CCNY has been able to build pieces around her this year in a very challenging schedule.
Floriana doesn't have to burden and shoulder the load of winning anymore. She had Nikki Cascone 1 year. Then she had Nikki Cascone and Melissa Blast the next year. Now she has Toussaint, she has Castro, she has Blast, she has Kingsman, she has Polanco, and she has Ruth Reyes, who can come off the bench and help take some of that burden off her shoulders.
Garro named 2009 CUNY Player of the Year for the 2nd time in her great career. What has made her so special?
The fact that she is probably the best all-around athlete to have ever played volleyball, for not just for CCNY, but throughout the CUNY's echelon of volleyball. She can pass, she can hit, she can set. The question is now, do the pieces that she have around her can help her get that wedding ring and no longer be the bridesmaid?
A lot at stake for each of these 2 teams. We'll come back, introduce the head coaches, the starting lineups, and then it's volleyball championship time. Coming up next on CUNY TV and BronxNet.
On April 1st, 2010, our nation will be counted. Every person, whoever they are, wherever they live. And what we learn will transform what we know about ourselves. The 2010 census, it's a new portrait of America.
We're inside Nat Holman Gymnasium with Patrick Dietz. I'm Ralph Bednarczyk. Baruch on our right wearing the home white unis. CCNY to our left with the black and purples, and they immediately go in the middle to Melissa Blast for an early kill, a junior middle blocker from Oneonta, New York.
Melissa Blast came into her own last year during the championship. We were talking about her being someone who could step up and help shoulder some of the burden for Floriana Garro. This year she's come into her own as a leader on this team.
We'll go over lineups as we go along, as that one missing wide, and it's already a quick start for CCNY. 2-0 to score as Carissa Hoover missed. Here's Nikki Cascone, the senior setter, serving. Santiago, the freshman center, put across by Lauren Hayden. And it's Blast again with a smash that tied up Edita Muminovic of Baruch. 3-0 CCNY. So here's Cascone from Blackhawk College in Illinois by way of Champaign, Illinois, and that one is our first service error, making the score 3-1. Pat, what should we look for early?
We should look for Melissa Blass and Floriana Garro basically putting every ball away while they're front row right now, and probably Baruch just coming out a little listless. They did have a lackluster game against Lehman in the semifinal, so the score right now is indicative of how lackluster they are.
3-2 is our score as you look at Lauren Hayden, first year at Baruch College by way of Parker, Colorado. Deep serve at Karina Castro. Cascone, Garro, her first hit, and that one missed. 3-3.
I'm a little surprised. I wasn't expecting Garro to go for such a sharp shot. She was past the block. She probably could have taken some off of that and put the ball in.
This is Myra Esteban serving, a 4-year player at Baruch. 4-year starter, that one off the ceiling, and Garro will have to safety it across. 3-piece in our first set, just underway in the CUNY Volleyball Championship. With Patrick Dietz, I'm Ralph Bednarczyk. Garro with the deflection, and that one goes for her first kill, and the Beavers in a lead again.
The first time that Baruch and CCNY met early this year, where Baruch swept CCNY, Garro didn't hit very well. She shouldered a major burden. She only hit 162 against them. This game, however, she's said that she was going to look to hit a little smarter and not try to force as many shots.
The tip at the net put down by Zuleika Polanco. And the Beavers at home back up by 2. And back to service with Blass.
I'd have a hard time if I were the home team, yet I'm the second seed in my own building. I think the Beavers are out to prove today that they really should have been the #1 seed.
In the middle, that one buried by Lauren Hayden. 5-4, Hayden, sophomore from Parker, Colorado. You see here transferred to Baruch from Montana State, a Division I school, but she did not play volleyball there all the way out in Bozeman, Montana, and missed volleyball, wanted to come to New York, and she's been an impact player right away in CUNY. Good serve by her, put across by Kinsman, and Alexis Kinsman gets an excuse-me kill to the delight of now third-year head coach Krishna Das. The last time Baruch, by the way, won a CUNY Women's Championship, Krishna Das was their head coach.
And the ironic part about that was that Krishna Das beat CCNY in the final.
Now we get a double hit called against Baruch, so an inauspicious start for the Beavers, or rather for the Bearcats with the Beavers in the lead.
It's exactly what I thought would happen. I was expecting Baruch to come out a little flat, a little listless, and it shows right now in the way they're playing. They're not exploding to the ball. All those in-between plays are really going against them right now. If they don't come out with a little more urgency, I have a feeling this first game is going to be very quick, and they might come out with a little bit more fire in the second game.
8-4 already, CCNY. In the middle, Pierre, and she puts one away. 8-5. Pat, you mentioned about the slow start, of course. It's a different CUNY format, people watching at home. The semifinal matches are played before this. This Baruch team in white had to play at 3 o'clock, 5 hours ahead of this start time, while CCNY got to play at 5. So they're used to playing back-to-back. Baruch had about 3 hours of just sitting around and waiting and watching and wondering.
I don't know if it was waiting and watching. They were here. They were part of the excitement and the effort that was being put out by both Hunter and CCNY. What I'm thinking this is right now is more of a transition of what happened with that very first game. It didn't challenge them. So now they're coming out very flat, very empty. CCNY, in retrospect, played against Hunter. I mean, they match each other player for player. So Baruch has just got to find that fire and then to come out a little harder, play with a little more urgency.
There's the big block on Christina Pierre by Zuleika Polanco, and a timeout, an early one called here by Baruch coach Allison Stack. A 6-point edge by CCNY here in the early going.
Allison's probably telling them exactly what I just mentioned right now. We've got to wake up. We've got to start playing a little harder. We're playing too flat. We're playing on our heels. Let's get on our toes. Let's go after this ball, and let's try to really put it on them the way we did the first time we played them.
The CCNY team #1 in hitting, on the season. Let's look at their starting lineup. You see Garrow on the outside. Cascone is the center. Melissa Blass, a junior middle blocker. Kinsman is a sophomore right side. Polanco's come on with Castro, the libero. Daliana Toussaint, a freshman, look out for her, from Brooklyn, New York, also an outside hitter. We'll give you the Baruch lineups just shortly as Pierre went off the top of the net. Point to CCNY, and they're up 7.
Right now, Santiago sets her a little low for Pierre. She's exploding out of the ground, but the ball's below the net and below the block, making her shot a lot harder to complete.
Kinsman serves at Estepan and put across by Pierre. That's Castro, the libero. To the outside, Toussaint. Off hands, dug out by Posey Wilson. To the outside, the block there outside, put down on Martina Miko. Left-hander by Cascone. A 7-point lead for CCNY. Cascone, she'll try Toussaint. Santiago. Miko, that one down the line. Martina Miko, a junior from the Czech Republic by way of Glen Cove, New York, out on the island.
She is probably this year's X Factor. If she hits consistently and well on the outside, taking away the ability for CCNY to transition, they'll have a better shot at and a better opportunity of beating.
And Garrow has another kill. Just a bad dig by Estepan. Lead is back to 7 in this first set. So CCNY in control of things so far.
This is pretty much the way I figured it would happen. Unfortunately, I didn't expect it to be so dead on the Baruch side. There really isn't a lot of action coming from the way they play right now.
The dig by Rembas. Estepan down the line. Good dig by Bermudez. And then it's tipped down by Pierre. 13-7. And that was something head coach Allison Stack wondered about a Baruch team in the semifinals. They defeated Lehman College in 4 sets, but she said they looked flat. They looked bored, lethargic. All the different kinds of adjectives you can use for a 3 p.m. match, and then they had to wait a while.
Exactly, and that really does hurt a team. As much as you want that extra time to relax, you really just want to come out and play almost every time and let that energy flow into the next match.
Toussaint with a big swing. That one off hands. Santiago inside, down the line, it falls in for Lauren Hayden. Another deep coffin corner. It's a 5-point first set for CCNY. So Allison Stack, her face says so much of things. What's her face say to you?
I'm not happy with our effort. Let's put some more into it. That's pretty much it. It's just flat out, let's get out there and play a little harder. We're not playing hard enough right now.
The tip put across around the block of Hayden.
And that play is indicative of what's going on right now. There's no way there's no way that ball's gonna go down hard. We should expect the tip. We should already be in position to play that ball, and it just dies right in the middle there, and it shouldn't die in the middle.
Off the serve, and CCNY picks up their first ace.
Point goes to CCNY. It's 15-8.
The lead up to 7. Again, Daliana Toussaint from the Secondary School for Research. Look for her to be their go-to player the next 3 years, and she's going to put her in 2 in a row.
2 aces in a row. It shows just how flat the team is. A team, you get aced once, you're awake, you're ready. You don't want to get aced again. They just got aced the second time. That means that you're not paying attention. You're not ready for the ball.
Safety to cross by Estepan. Cascone for Garrow, left-handed tip, dug out by the Bearcats. Baruch needing to get their middle hitters, their huge middle hitters involved. Blass, she's the middle for CCNY, putting it past Posey Wilson.
Again, another play on Baruch's side that just shows just how unready they are. A push tip, Santiago puts up a very good ball. Volleyball coaches have a rule, better the next ball. That ball should have been bumped into an area where someone could attack it. But it was just, again, safely bumped into the middle, and then someone just sets it easily back over the net. And now, CCNY starting to assert themselves. Now they're blocking on Baruch's side of the ball because they know where the ball's going. There's no urgency to better that opportunity, to better the next ball.
Toussaint again. Hayden. They'll try Garrow. That one dug out by Wilson. A 10-point lead. Estepan stuffed away again. Blas has played really well here in the first set. Number 7 in the middle. Hayden dug out by Toussaint. Quick turnaround. Blas! Oh, she has gotten going here in the first set. The junior from Oneonta, New York.
Melissa Blas came into her own last year in last year's championship game. She stepped up big, hit positively, had a double-digit kill percentage. Right now, she's taken off so much of the weight from Floriana Garro's shoulders. Christina Pierre is off to the side right now on the sideline. Baruch doesn't have anyone who can terminate the way Christina Pierre can. Someone has to be willing to step up for Baruch and put them in a position to win.
Melissa Blas this season didn't have the best year, but still named first team All-CUNY as Allison Stack's team is down 10 after the service error by the Beavers. Castro to the front. Garro blocked away. So there's the first real look we've seen of the huge twin towers that Baruch has of Carissa Hoover, 5'10", from San Diego, and Lauren Hayden, 5'10", from Colorado. You see Hayden there. They are the biggest team in CUNY, and they frustrated Floriana Garro in the sweep by Baruch earlier this season in the regular season, as Estepan misses wide there, and it's a double-up score, 20-10.
Myra Estepan's one of the few four-year players on this team. That's not a mistake a senior should be making. You should have played that ball into a deeper corner, given your team, especially off a momentum block like that, an opportunity to really take the lead initially.
Estepan, they try the other side, off hands.
Look at the hustle. CCNY right now is playing with urgency. Baruch isn't.
Estepan, too low. Wouldn't have made it over. The lead, the largest of the first set as Blas was in position, 21-10.
This doesn't show that Baruch had beaten CCNY earlier in the year. Not at all. The way they're playing right now, the mishits, the overpasses for kills to Floriana Garro, that didn't happen in the first time. This is a completely different CCNY team. Their leaders are stepping up individually and making the team better.
Doesn't get much easier than that for the two-time CUNY Player of the Year, Floriana Garro. Inside, Hayden blocked away. Garro, this time on the outside, stuffs one off hands. At the front, blocked by Bass on Estepan. Hoover. Hayden couldn't finish it, and then finally Carissa Hoover puts one down for her first kill. Carissa Hoover, a freshman, second-team CUNY selection this year. Great story from San Diego. She emailed every single volleyball coach in the New York City area.
She didn't email me.
That's true, in Concordia. As the block inside by Miko and Hayden makes it 22-12, but to continue the story there, Hoover visited about 9 schools in the New York City area and decided that Baruch was the best fit for her. She was a big recruit for Allison Stack. There is Garro going across to make it 23-12, but Hoover at 5'10", 4 years of great club experience in California was a nice pickup, and she'll have a chance to be Player of the Year the way Garro has been throughout her career.
Allison Stack has found a way over the years to get solid players from everywhere to come to a small school, small Division III school in New York that doesn't have a lot of housing, and she's made it possible through smart recruiting.
And Garro once again around the block.
This time Floriana Garro was smart. She saw the big hands, and instead of trying to go through them, she used the outside hand of the outside blocker to get that point in that kill.
It is set point for CCNY. Hayden, that one off the ceiling. Good dig by Cascone, and she'll safety it across. Baruch will turn it around for Miko. And that'll be 3. CCNY takes the first set.
That was too easy a set. I'm a little worried right now that Baruch is kind of playing safe. They wanted to make sure that they had the opportunity to weather the storm, and they weren't able to. Maybe the second game they'll come out with a little more fire and a little more execution.
Baruch falls in the first. You're watching the CUNY Volleyball Championship on CUNY TV and BronxNet.
on, David.
Let's go, David, come on!
Come on, David, you got the love.
Get as involved in your kids' education as in everything they do, and imagine the success they might find. Stay in touch with the teacher. Visit the school. For more tips, call 1-800-281-1313.
Go, David! Go, David!
Hey, Lena, where's yours?
Only hitting
The
200.
Rookie of the Year, also from Baruch College, Melinda Santiago.
Welcome back, everybody. Inside Nat Holman Gymnasium, you see the Baruch College Bearcats there. A tough first set, Pat Dietz, to say the very least, as we look at their starting lineup here with Pierre, Hoover, and Hayden on the outside. Estepan has moved all around in her career. Freshman center, CUNY Rookie of the Year, Melinda Santiago. Posey Wilson is the libero of the year, a sophomore by way of Fayetteville, Arkansas. And on the outside as well, Martina Miko, comprising the starters for Baruch. So through that first set, Pat, Baruch hit only minus 0-2. What happened?
It's called listlessness. They came out flat. They came out dead. They came out without an idea of how to finish a point. Now, is it because CCNY played an hour before that and they played 5 hours before that? Or is it just because they had played a pretty lackluster 4-game win against a team that they knew they should have beaten in 3? You know, so the goal right now for Baruch is to come out with a little more urgency.
Garrow had 4 kills hitting 200, but the big story, Melissa Blass for CCNY, 5 kills hitting 500. As a team, the Beavers hit 393, and they will serve to open up the second set, leading 1-0 in the CUNY Championship. Winner off to the NCAA tournament. Safety to cross by Hoover. Cascone from the back row. Garrow got that one to roll across the tape. Estepan. And that one will go past Kingsman. A 1-0 Baruch lead.
Myra Estepan in the first game was trying too hard to hit a hard shot. Her best ability is placing smart shots, and she just did that right there with that first point.
Santiago picks up the ace. That could be a theme that develops here, Pat. Baruch averaged for the season 11 aces per match they played, among the nation's best. It's something that Allison Stack really puts a lot of time into on a daily basis in practice and the off-season, as Blass went off hands there. And Estepan put it through, recovered by the Beavers. Garrow the other side. Hayden just goes with the tip. Cascone will turn it around, back to Blass, and that one dug out by Maminovich. And eventually put wide by Cascone, a 3-0 Bearcats lead.
To add on to the point about serving, the best offense is usually good defense, but the greatest offense is putting a team into bad positioning with a smart serve, pulling the hitter out of their comfort zone by forcing the setter to only set one place. So if they can do that every time, I think Baruch will have a better opportunity at winning this next game.
That's Garrow missing, and Baruch right back at you. A quick 4-0 start. Cascone serving. I'll check it 3-1. 3-1 they call tip on that ball. 3-1 the score. Blass.
That block is becoming a major part of what's going on right now.
And then Garrow gets 2 straight, so it's 3-2. So for Garrow, that is now 6 kills for her. By the way, in game 1, Baruch had 8 attacking errors. 1 more than their total number of kills, which was 7.
That's the lackluster play. That's what happens when you don't come out with urgency in your game.
Good dig there by Wilson. the libero of the year in the conference. And then blasts, right hands, another one down, and we're tied.
Posey Wilson's going to be a vacuum. She's going to be all over the court, touching almost every ball. The idea now is it going to be a perfect ball? No. Now we have to make, again, better the next ball, better the next opportunity so that our team can score a point off of it.
Cascone serving, and Maminovich dug it out, but not a great pass. Garrow blasts away. Baruch will have this one. Estepan. Joust at the net. And we get the whistle going against CCNY and Melissa Blast for the net violation.
That was a forced error. Melissa Blast was trying to take that ball away because it hit the scoreboard. Again, there's better play on Baruch's side, but I don't see crispness in how they're playing. They're still playing very flat, very uninspired volleyball.
Here's Myra Estepan out of Francis Lewis High School. The serve. Garrow now coming through the middle, blocked away. Good dig by Santiago. Popped across by Miko. Lead is one. They'll try Kinsman outside. Here is Hoover going to the back row. Garrow through a double block. Well, right now they have Hoover and Hayden both in this rotation, and that was the part where Garrow was gonna have to work through, and that time she did.
And it's not just the height, it's the penetration. Look at where she swings. She swings through into the seam, and she takes away Baruch's strength of penetration and makes it part of her attack, makes it what she wants to do.
Big dig there by Cascone, the former starting libero with CCNY, now setting, and Miko stuffed away. Hoover put it through Polanco and Garrow.
They're gonna need to give Hoover a lot more sets. She is, like Christina Pierre, a terminating player. It doesn't matter how the play happens, it's gonna end with her somehow, some way.
Here's Hayden, third in CUNY in hitting and kills this year. Polanco, joust to the net, and Pierre uses her size for the first time we've really seen her make an impact.
And it's because of where she blocks the ball. She didn't wait for the ball to come down in an area where the offensive player could use her. She went over the top and met the ball at a peak and pushed down across the offensive player to give herself a better opportunity to win.
6-4 Baruch in the second set, trailing 1-0. Garrow the other way, right down the line.
Martina Miko was a little late with her block and gave Garrow too much line, and she was able to put that ball away straight down the line.
So here's Floriana, born in Albania, came over and lived in North Dakota for her few years in high school as she serves that one into the net, 7-5, but Garrow came over and just loved New York, wanted to go to school in the United States because her older brother was a college basketball player at a small school in North Dakota. So here she is from Albania by way of North Dakota to CUNY as we get another ace now by Carissa Hoover, and she led the entire CUNY in aces. This prompts CCNY's Krishna Das to call a timeout.
I think Krishna's just telling them and reminding them to settle in a little bit, and they're just going to service directly the ball. Let's take the ball and do something smart with it. Let's control it, put it into the zone so that we can run our offense. She's really, this is more of a let's settle down timeout than it is, hey, let's get back in a better play. No, let's settle down, get back into the flow of what we were doing. We're still hitting well, we're still passing well. Let's just settle back into what we did game one.
Alongside Concordia Volleyball head coach Patrick Dietz, I'm Ralph Bednarczyk. One of the key storylines of this contest, Pat, is Krishna Das, who we just saw there in the middle of the CCNY huddle. She was the last head coach that won a Baruch Women's Volleyball Championship with Baruch. Now she's coaching against him. It's a really strange dynamic, and she won titles and Hunters, so it's a really interesting drama within this game.
She is, as you were saying earlier when we were off air, she's part of that CUNY hierarchy of player, athlete, coach that has found success at almost every level, and that's exactly what she's trying to do with this CCNY team.
There's Pierre again. First team all CUNY this year. Leads the team at 367 hitting average, second in CUNY.
Again, she is a terminating player. Whether she's hitting the ball or blocking the ball, She is one of those players that terminates. Carissa Hoover is a terminating player. As you can see, that's her second ace, pretty much in a row. It's all about ending the play with you on a positive end.
Hoover, that time she missed. 11-5, rather 10-6. Another interesting story about Hoover. She's 5'10". She was able to routinely block head coach Allison Stack in practice, and Coach Stack was the one pretending to be Floriano Garro, getting ready to play against CCNY. And Coach Stack says, nobody on my team ever blocks me, but Hoover, just a freshman, was the first to do so, as Miko missed outside, wanting the tip from our referee up official Russell Rodriguez. It's 10-7.
Allison Stack, I was about to say Gunther. Allison Stack was an athlete of excellence when she played at Bryant College, now Bryant University. And in all fairness, there really shouldn't be a girl on her team that should be able to block her. And Carissa Hoover is that kind of athlete that can take a Division I caliber hitter, as Allison Stack is, and block her consistently.
That's the down official, Paul DeCurtis, changing a call here, and Allison Stack wondering what happened. And it's also, I believe, a rotation issue for Baruch, so it is 10-8. The score is correct. And Paul DeCurtis, veteran official, coordinator of officials in the CUNY Conference. Miko, and she'll find real estate in the middle.
That should never happen if you're CCNY. You've got just as big a block working against Martina Miko. The middle of the court should be protected. You should be charging at that ball, ready to dig it.
Miko with the serve. Good one, and Castro couldn't control it. Safety to cross. Pierre winds up and fires. Castro got a hand on it. CCNY again will safety. Santiago, Pierre. This time the slam dunk was put away and upped. Pierre, third time, right into the bottom of the tape. Point for CCNY.
CCNY knows that when Pierre's front row, she's going to get every ball. As a result, they've set up their defense in such a way that she will not get that opportunity. Terminating players hate being frustrated. If the ball doesn't get put away by them, they start to make mistakes on their third, fourth, fifth try.
Here's Jasmine Bermudez, a junior from Brentwood High School, Brentwood, New York on Long Island, serving. Cascone, quick dump. Maminovich was there. Estepan, oh, that one found room.
That was Myra's first clean, open look swing. And she did something smart. She didn't try to hit it harder than she could. She put it into a spot. Again, Myra Estepan's one of those girls that you have to give her an opening. And once that opening happens, then she can get the kill.
Hoover. Cascone well across for Toussaint. And the set may be a little off, a little low for her.
It doesn't seem like Carissa Hoover's expecting that back row set. She's got to be ready. She again is one of those terminating plays, and she has to be ready to use her athleticism on that line and be able to attack that ball from the back row.
Posey Wilson serving, the only player in CUNY from Arkansas. Santiago, and just a bad set. Her and Lauren Hayden were not on the same page.
Just a little miscommunication there between her and Hayden. That ball went a little quicker than Hayden thought it would. But next time, Hayden should jump up and at least try to attack the ball. When you jump, you give yourself a better opportunity to take the ball away.
Toussaint with a deep one. And Hoover just had to safety that. Cascone, quick dump, denied. Lead is 3. Gascon, she'll go back to Garrow. She's been quiet lately. Wilson, a good save. And then that one finally put down by Blass. So Melissa Blass, 2 years ago, Pat, you might remember, Coach Doss said as a freshman talking about Blass against Hunter that she felt that if Blass stepped up, they'd win the CUNY championship that year in 07 as Toussaint serves up an ace here, 13-12. And she had so many expectations upon Melissa Blass that as a freshman she felt if she steps up, we'll win it. That year they lost in 4 sets to Hunter.
But she did play well. She didn't play great, she played well. And as a result, it gave her confidence for the next year where she played well again. And indicative of that idea right there, she just put that very simple high two ball away with a smart swing. The experience is what's helped her. The experience is what's put her into this position. Now she's a leader. The question is, can the rest of the team come with her? They're even now. It's a race to 12. I think CCNY is going to win this flat out in 3.
Santiago, Hayden, denied by Blas. Well, she's making us look good here.
Yeah, she is. And you know, she's making herself look even better because she has stepped up and she stepped out of herself. She's no longer that shy freshman. She's no longer that question sophomore. She's a true leader on this team as a junior.
Toussaint missed. Set 2 tied at 14. CCNY with the 1-0 lead. So it'll be freshman Melinda Santiago to serve. First-year starter, and she only became CUNY Rookie of the Year almost by accident, and she dials up an ace. Melinda, coming over from Bellport High School, she was supposed to back up the starting center, Kristen Walker, for a couple of years. Walker did not return. All of a sudden, Santiago gets a phone call from Coach Stack. Hey, you're gonna have to be my center for 4 years because the starter left as Blas just sends in another fastball to tie us up at 15. And part of the great ascension of this Baruch team has been a freshman center like Santiago stepping in and playing on a 26-win team.
Santiago has stepped up because of where she came from. She's from a very solid volleyball background. Long Island has been known to produce very good volleyball players. The other thing that happens is she also comes from a very good club background. So she has all this hype and experience around her already, and this isn't something new to her.
That's Garrow with another kill, and that prompts Baruch to use a timeout. CCNY has reclaimed the lead. All smiles in the Beavers huddle.
That's the first time Floriana Garrow has hit a ball over the block. I think they're getting a little tired now. That Baruch block is probably a little more fatigued, and she's looking over the block, swinging easier, not trying to put the ball through the block as much. She's putting it over the top of the block, putting the ball in an area where it'll help out her team more.
What do you think Coach Stack's message is here?
To be honest with you, I don't know. She's probably challenging her players right now and saying, listen, we've got to be willing to go to the ball. That ball should not have hit the ground. It was too high, too slow. We've got to move and be active on defense and not stand on our heels and think the ball's always going to come to us. Yeah, we've got a great block, but we've got to be active and look to play an off ball. An off ball is a ball that isn't hit right at you. It's not the perfect ball. You got to be willing to play that not so perfect ball.
After surging out to a 10-5 lead, CCNY has jumped back with an 11-5 run. And this one off hands, put across by Hoover. And rolls along the tape for Garrow.
Wow, that play just did not make any sense. Myra Estepan got that ball up and no one went out of their way to try to get the ball off the net the next time. That's not good.
We get the whistle. Point CCNY net violation now on Melinda Santiago.
She's a back row player. She's not allowed to attack the ball above the height of the net. And the wheels are starting to come off the train a little bit. It doesn't seem like Baruch has settled down and stabilized themselves with their play.
It's a 13-5 CCNY run in the second.
Well, that's a little bit of an uncharacteristic mistake by Cascone right there. A little off shank dig off an easy ball. Here comes that big lineup again for Baruch. Hopefully they can use it against Garrow in some way, shape, or form. But Ruth Reyes has just been subbed in. The super sub that can hit middle, right side, or outside to take some of the pressure off of Garrow. This might not be good.
Cascone, Garrow flies in from the middle and put it down. What precision down the line.
Exactly what happened, what I would think happened. They brought in Ruth Reyes, which now spreads the block. You can't lock down on Garrow. Reyes is an athletic, jumping middle. Her being on the court really helps Garrow.
Garrow averaging 4.78 kills per set. She's second in the nation in that category in Division III. Here she is again. That one fielded by Wilson. Hayden And she tried to go with the tip. That one put across on the third hit and finally put away by Miko. Looked like Baruch lost count of how many hits, but they get the point with Hayden.
Actually, I believe CCNY is a little upset. They don't believe there was a contact on the block, and as a result, they stopped playing the ball. The rule is keep playing till you hear the whistle. Unfortunately, that's not what they did.
So here's Hayden, has freshman eligibility, hitting .350, third in CUNY for the regular season. Lead is 2. Reyes setting for Garrow. And Pierre popped it back across. They'll try Garrow again, and she'll get another kill. Hoover had the block, but out.
Floriana Garrow has changed her game. She knows that there's a bigger block and that she can't go through it, so she uses the outside of the block, forcing the block, making the block be part of her attack, and causing them to make a mistake in how they block her for a point.
Hoover from the back line. They run the slide with Polanco, and there is Pierre laying on the roof.
Martina Miko and Christina Pierre, probably two of the bigger blockers in CUNY, penetrating the top of the net, sealing the net, and causing that point to happen.
A 15-8 run since the hot Baruch start, and now they have Hoover serving, and she dials up her third ace of the match. It's a little unorthodox, but it works.
It's a slide step jump serve. She can put topspin on it. She can hit it flat. The key to her serve really is the contact. And once that contact is made, that it's a crisp, clean contact, and that it hits a smart area. There goes that use again by Floriana Garrow. As a hitter, as an outside hitter, you learn to adjust to what the other team is doing so that you're better prepared to score a point. And that's exactly what she did right there. She saw the high hands, she saw the hands penetrating across the net, so she decided, okay, you're gonna be there, then I'm gonna hit your hand, make the ball go out. That's my point, okay? You wanna take away my opportunity to score, I'm gonna use what you're trying to take away from me and make it my point.
1-0 CCNY if you're just tuning in on CUNY TV and on Bronxnet. This is the CUNY Women's Volleyball Championship match with Concordia Women's Volleyball head coach Patrick Dietz. I'm Ralph Bednarczyk. We're at Nat Holman Gym on Manhattan's Upper West Side, the CCNY campus. Toussaint puts CCNY up 2.
That's a big swing by Toussaint. She was smart. She used the smaller blocker, and instead of trying to hit down off the smaller blocker, she hit high off the smaller blocker, causing the ball to spin, and the defenders didn't know how to react to it.
Santiago Pierre rears back, and the set from Garrow. And then Polanco goes down the line. So these youngsters, a sophomore Polanco, a freshman Toussaint, have played well surrounding Garrow.
And they're athletic young players. They get off the ground and really explode to the ball, which makes their ability to play the ball at a higher level much more consistent.
Off of the service error, it'll be Martina Miko. Second team All CUNY this year. Toussaint from the middle. And Miko goes long and missed.
That should not happen. That ball needs to be placed in an area where your team has an opportunity. You don't have to try to get the point off of them. Just put the ball in play. Let the other team make a mistake.
CCNY on the verge of taking the second and stunning this Baruch portion of the crowd. Bermudez serving. Remember, Baruch swept CCNY during the regular season as Esteban gets a big swing right back. You know, you talk about Mayra Esteban. She was a setter in an emergency 4 years ago. She's played right side this season, outside. A really under-recognized player in this league.
She's a 4-year starter. She comes from a very solid high school program, a very solid club program. She's been the player that, you know, Allison Stack has pretty much built her team around in terms of, this is the kind of player I want all the time. Someone who can play every position, do everything, and do anything that I need.
That time she was dug out by Castro. And Esteban has the dig there. And Mayra out of Francis Lewis High School, a PSAL power.
For many years now. For many years now.
Now CCNY has set point in the second. The right hand put down by Garrow, and Maminovic couldn't control it. So here's the freshman Daliana Toussaint. Dig by Hoover, blast, puts it away. 2-0 CCNY in the championship.
And this is scary, and this is why I'm saying it's scary. CCNY really isn't doing anything special. They're not doing what Hunter has done in the past, where they've dominated offensively or dominated defensively. What they're doing is they're just putting the ball on the other side of the net. They're just saying, hey, Baruch, here, you can, go ahead. We're going to keep playing our game, and you can go ahead and make the mistake, because you're not going to try, and we're just going to win. Just indicative right there. That ball should not have hit the ground. Someone should have been under that ball knowing full it was coming back to them.
Blass and the Beavers up 2-0, seeking their 4th CUNY championship. We'll come back. This is CUNY TV and Broxnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is Staff Appreciation Day here at City College.
Hey, Lena, where's yours?
Go to jail for a gun crime, and your family serves a sentence with you.
To a child, a little of your time can make a lifetime of difference. That's why the Greenville Family Partnership sponsored a hike, because kids with something to do are less likely to do drugs.
Standing right in front of them.
Whether you're a good storyteller or a good listener, you can help. To find out about community drug prevention programs, call toll-free 1-877-KIDS-313.
I can keep a kid off drugs.
And on CUNY TV, Melissa Blass, one of her 11 kills, closing out the second set. And this top seed Baruch Bearcats team were hoping for a CUNY Women's Volleyball Championship here from Nat Holman Gymnasium. They have a mountain to climb on the road against this CCNY team.
This CCNY team isn't as young as the Baruch team is. There's a lot of experience on that side of the net in black. And they're playing at home. Those are excuses, but in reality, that's a lot of experience. Cascone, Blass, Garrow, they've been here before. A lot of the young ladies on the Baruch side haven't been in the final. They've been in the playoffs, but they haven't been in the final, and they haven't had an opportunity to really show off what they can do. This is the first time that they're really being tested.
And to follow up that point, Pat, 5 CCNY starters have played in the championship match. Granted, they've lost every single one of them, finishing runner-up the last 3 years, as Garrow is blocked down by Hoover and Hayden. But you look on the other end for Baruch, and the only one that has any kind of that experience is right there, 13 in white, Myra Estepan. Besides that, they're all brand new to this.
And even then, Myra Estepan was really just a backup setter her freshman year. She didn't start the position. So even for her, this is a new experience. She's been there with Francis Lewis in high school, but this isn't high school anymore. And a big swing by Melissa Blass right here. I've noticed something. The block for Baruch has yet to take away Melissa Blass's cross-court shot, back-court shot, cross-body, and as a result, it's actually hurt them because she's going around the block a lot. They've got to find a way to move their block over and seal around the ball. Put 2 hands in the middle and 2 hands around. This way Melissa Blass won't get those sharp shots.
Double hit is the call against Estepan. 2-1 CCNY. By the way, Blass and Garrow each lead the way with 12 kills apiece. Staggering numbers through 2 sets as Blass almost got another one there, upped by Baruch. And then Estepan's pop-up missed. And Allison Stack, you saw her, the frustration beginning
She's
to
saying
loom here.
hit the ball. Don't be afraid of the block. Use the block. Make the block part of your attack. Put the ball in play. Don't be afraid of them.
Hoover, dug out by Castro.
That's a big dig right there.
Karina Castro, third-year starting libero. Then we get the whistle, point to Baruch.
Ball is outside the antenna. Ball is outside the antenna. That hustle play right there by Cascone shows exactly the enthusiasm that needs to be there for CCNY to win and what Baruch needs to find for themselves to be able to win.
Miko's tip, and that one ricocheted over. And it is a 3-3 score early in this third set.
That's a big play. Martina Miko tip block. She knows she was going to be able to cover herself. I think she just haphazardly tried to put it over the net, and then it ricocheted off. But again, it's one of those things where it's got to be a major hustle play.
They'll try Miko again. That time she pushed it too far.
She actually tried to hit that with her left hand, which was the smart move, but she was blind to how she was hitting. What she should have done was push the ball into the net. Again, make the block part of your attack.
So here's Blass, who hit .462 in the second set on top of her 6 kills. There's the tip put down by Hoover, the freshman. 4-4. So big numbers put across by the CCNY stars. Hoover someday will be one.
And she has the potential. I think right now it's all about honing her skills. She is a freshman, so she has a lot of room to grow. And once she gets better, I believe she'll be where Garrow is now.
Staring at a CUNY championship. They had done everything except lose a 5-setter to their arch rival Hunter. Otherwise, they would have had a perfect CUNY regular season. They've got 26-7 overall. They had the carpet laid out for them. They had a huge front line of Pierre, Hayden, and Hoover. They were all designed to block Garrow. The experience there of their senior Estepan. And none of that has worked so far as Garrow misses on the service error. 20-15. And right now, CCNY on the verge for these group of seniors like Garrow and Cascone of winning a championship.
Oh, it's the experience. Again, they've been there. This is a young Baruch team. They're just experiencing this for the first time. Then that's indicative right there. Hoover serving it in the net just shows that. The pressure, this is the first time they've ever had that kind of pressure. They're going to be the best team in CUNY for the next few years. I guarantee you that. However, this is their first taste of possible success. Pierre is probably going to be the cornerstone of that. Right there, again, a terminating player putting the ball in play, making a difficult shot.
22-16.
You can see the frustration on the Baruch bench right now.
Jasmine Bermudez. And Pierre safeties one out of bounds. You know, Pat, this crowd has been so loud on the home court for CCNY. How much do you think this has helped the Beavers tonight?
I think they would have won no matter where they played. Honestly, they were the more experienced team, and it showed right there. Christina Pierre, who's known to put a ball away, an overpass away, just went up and mistimed it. That's lack of experience. This CCNY team is very experienced. They're very strong. They've been here before. Baruch hasn't.
The crowd now on their feet. Championship point. Hoover Will they go to Garrow? No, it's Glass. And Pierre silences the crowd for a moment.
I don't really think it's silence. I think it's more of a, oh, okay, we've got one more point before we start cheering. Pierre on the other side of the net. Look at that. She's just taking the ball away from Glass. You can't combat that.
Championship point still. Glass. Santiago put it across. That's 4 hits. Rather check at the lift called by Russell Rodriguez. 24-18. Timeout called here by Baruch. A big smile on the face of Krishna Das.
This is a little bit. This is kind of sweet reward for Krishna Das. She was the last Baruch coach to win a championship, and she beat CCNY. She's gonna be with CCNY the next time Baruch has an opportunity to be the champions, and she's probably gonna win, most likely, barring any kind of collapse. You've got your 2 leaders right now in control of this game. Cascone's gonna set to Melissa Blass, who I still say is probably the tournament MVP in my book, because she has stepped up big for a junior. Floriana Garrow's got a big smile on her face, looking up the score. She knows she's this close to getting that wedding ring.
Third time championship point, and